Ever seen this message? There's been a critical error on this website. Throughout this video, I'll explain why it happens and a few different ways in how you can solve it without having to pay a developer to go ahead and fix it for you. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so once you've seen this critical error message, assuming you're running the latest version of WordPress, it will automatically send you an email informing you that there's been a critical error on your site. And usually they'll give you a debugging log that shows the line where the error occurs, right? Which is super helpful. Let's assume that the email address that you've got on your WordPress website isn't your up-to-date email address. So we haven't received that email. So that's the situation here. If you've received it, fine. Then you'll have a better idea of why that error occurred. So I'm assuming you haven't received that email. So we're going to debug it the old-fashioned way. We'll head over to our hosting account. We'll find our file manager and we'll enable debugging mode so we can see where and why the errors occurred. All right, so I'm going to leave a link to this website in the description below. And all we're going to do is we're going to copy this code here and we're going to paste it in our WP config file. So let's head over to our hosting now. Usually they'll have a cPanel that looks something like this, and with Hawk hosts, most of them use cPanel, or they'll have their own reskinned version. Right, we just need to find a file manager. I've already got it open here. Usually your root directory of your website will look something like this. So we'll have the WP admin, WP content includes, and so on. We need to go ahead and find this WP config.php. Let's go ahead and hit edit, or hit edit again. And then we just need to scroll down to where it says debug, and it will be set to false here. All right, so I've already got this code on my site, which I've copied. It's not always the case, right? So sometimes we only see this message here, which says debugging false. And usually we don't see these other lines here. So in my case, I've actually got it. So I just want to change this to true, if I can spell it. And let's hit save changes. All right, so now when we refresh this page, we should see why that errors occurred, right? So we can clearly see that the errors occurring on our site due to this plugin here, which I've created intentionally to simulate this error. So ideally, what I would go ahead and do is just head over to our WP content folder, plugins, and then we'll just rename this particular plugin here. Can delete it, but we're going to rename it because we're going to debug it separately. Head over to our file manager again. Let's close this off. All right, so we need to head over to WP content and plugins. Let's go ahead and find that plugin. This one, simulate critical error. And then essentially all we need to do is go ahead and hit rename. And then as long as we change the name, it'll automatically deactivate on our website and our website access would be restored. Before I go ahead and do that, I want to show a few other ways. Let's assume we have no idea what the plugin is or whether it's a theme, right? That's causing an issue. So what we'd do is we'd go back, and here where it says plugins, we can just rename the entire plugin folder, and that will deactivate all the plugins on our website. Let's just go ahead and do it now. So I'm just going to rename this to plugin. All right, let's refresh this page. So we've got access to our site somewhat. It looks broken. That's because the majority, well, all of our plugins are deactivated. All right, so let's go to our backend and we'll go install plugins. And we can see all these plugins that was active are now deactivated. That's fine. So the main thing is we just need to head over to our backend and just view the plugin page. And now we'll head back over to our file manager and then we will rename this and we want it to say plugins, right? So this is the correct name for it. So now when we refresh this page, we should see all of our different plugins. And what I recommend is we just go through and activate the plugins one by one. Right? And then each time you activate a plugin, you'll be able to tell whether the site has crashed or not. You'll eventually find which plugin's causing the issue. So you can go ahead and then just leave that plugin deactivated. You can contact the plugin author and just let him know that this particular plugin's causing an error on your site, and this should be able to assist you in actually fixing that error. It's the same thing with the theme as well. Let's say maybe you change something in your child theme or the main theme file, right? And that broke the code. Then again, in your file manager, here where it says themes, we just need to rename this folder. Or if you know exactly what theme it is, we can just go ahead and rename the particular theme, and then we'll have access to our website. We can switch to a different theme whilst we go ahead and try debug the theme with the error. All right, so those are some of the key ways. Another thing to consider as well, let's say this is a live website and you didn't want to enable the debug mode and have all the errors showing on your website, because if someone's a hacker, for example, right, and they're quite savvy, that could give them crucial information that they can use to then hack your website. So in that case, what we want to do is let's head back over to our file manager. We'll go to WP config, edit. We'll scroll down to debug. And here where it says debug display, we can set this to false. This will be false, but we'll still be logging our error. And I'll show you where you can get the error log from. So let's just hit save changes. All right, so let's X this off. All right, and then here we've got this new file. So if you don't have error log enable, then this file wouldn't be here anyway. But since we've activated it, we can go ahead and view this file. Well, we'll just edit it. All right, and here is showing us a list of all the errors on our website by date as well. So this can give some crucial information as to why there's an error on our website. And if you've got a developer, or if it's a particular theme or plugin, you can go ahead and send this error log over to them, and that will give them enough information to be able to go ahead and fix the error that's happened on your website. And that brings us to the end of this video. We've had a look at a few different ways in how we can actually fix the critical error message on our website. If you feel I've missed a particular method, or if you've got any questions, leave it in the description below. And for more videos like this, like and subscribe.